Hey guys, this is Chaos Chrono back with another deck opening. We're on to deck number 11 out of this display, and as always hoping for one of those top tier decks. Let's take a look at what we got today. Alright, today's deck is Metallus Camp Explorer. It's a Shadows, a Logos, and Sanctum deck. Those three houses kind of take me back to the Coda days. Let's get this opened up and see what we got. Alright, starting with Shadows, we have Walk the Plank. It's an action. If your opponent has no amber, deal 4 damage to a creature. Otherwise, steal an amber. Shoulder ID, 6 power creature with Taunt. Shoulder ID cannot fight. When Shoulder ID would deal damage, steal 1 amber instead. Scooped, it's an action, and whenever you play it, deal 2 damage to a creature. If it is not destroyed, it captures 1 amber from its own side. 2 copies of Scooped. One-Eyed Willa, 2 power creature. While the tide is high, One-Eyed Willa gains Elusive and Skirmish, and she has Fight, steal 1 amber. Jackie Tar, 2 power creature with Elusive and Reap, deal 1 damage to a creature. If the tide is high, deal 6 damage to a creature instead. Hornswoggle, it's an action, amber whenever you play it. Use an enemy artifact as if it were yours. Gas Pipes Malone, 3 power creature with Before Fight. The creature Gas Pipes Malone fights captures 1 ember from its own side. Trickle Down Theory, it's an artifact. When you play it, raise the tide. And Omni, gain 1 ember if your opponent has 6 ember or more. Miasma Bomb, it's an artifact. It enhances 1 damage pip into the deck. And as action, destroy Miasma Bomb. Your opponent skips the Forge Key step during their next turn. Hand Cannon, it's an upgrade. Amber whenever you play it. This creature gains Skirmish. And Fight, move 1 amber from the creature this creature fights to your pool. Finishing Blow, it's an action. Amber whenever you play it. Destroy a damaged creature. If you do, steal 1 amber. That is it for Shadows. Moving on to Sanctum, we have Yorion the Circumspect. It's a 3 power 1 armor creature with Reap. Gain amber equal to Yorion's armor. 2 copies of Yorion. Strange Ordination. 3 amber whenever you play it. Play only if the tide is high. Shifting Battlefield. It's an action, amber whenever you play it. Move a friendly creature anywhere in your battle line. That creature captures 1 amber. Celestial Sargassa, 6 power 2 armor creature. After a player raises a tide, a creature they control captures 2 amber from their opponent. Theory of the Lake, it's enhanced with the capture icon. 3 power creature. While the tide is high, each friendly creature gets +2 armor. Badge Magus or Badge Magus. It's a 4 power creature with Deploy. And Fight. Radiant fight with each of his neighbors 1 at a time. Radiant Truth, it's an action, amber whenever you play it. Stun each enemy creature not on a flank. Honor or Glory, it's an action. Choose 1. Deal 3 damage to each flank creature, or deal 3 damage to each creature not on a flank. Doorstep to Heaven, it's an action, amber whenever you play it. Each player with 6 amber or more loses all but 5 of it. Bring Low, it's an action, amber whenever you play it, and it's enhanced with the damage icon. And it enhances a capture icon into the deck, which I think we just saw. And as play, capture all but 5 of your opponent's amber, distributed among any number of friendly creatures. Avenging Aura, amber whenever you play it, and it's enhanced with the draw icon. For the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature gains Assault X, where X is the number of Forge Keys your opponent has. Interesting. That is it for Sanctum. Moving on to Logos. We have Talmage Steelheart, 3 power creature with play. Give Talmage Steelheart a +1 power counter for each card you have played this turn, including this one. 2 copies of him. Submersive Principle, it's an action. Each player loses 1 amber. If the tide is high, each player loses half their amber instead, rounding down the loss. P.I. Suiven, enhanced with the draw icon. 2 power creature with Reap. If the tide is high, draw 3 cards. Infomorph, 4 power creature, and enhances 2 draw icons into the deck. Australis Seaborg, 4 power creature with Reap, deal 2 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, raise the tide. Armor Drone, 1 power 3 armor creature with Fight, steal 1 amber. Mind Bullets, it's an action, deal 1 damage to each creature for each card you have played this turn, including this one. 2 copies of that. Forgive or Forget, it's an action, choose one. Archive 2 cards of different types from your discard pile, or purge up to 2 cards from each discard pile. Field of the Researcher, 1 power creature with Elusive. After a creature is played adjacent to Field of the Researcher, draw a card. Honor's Keysis, it's an action, amber when you play it. Forge a key at +7 amber current cost. Reduce by 1 amber for each card you have played this turn, including this one. If you do, purge Honor's Keysis. That is the last card of the deck. Let's get this sorted and see what we got. Pardon the mess. Looking at each house and what the focuses they all have. Starting with Shadows. Shadows is primarily there for some amber control and nowadays some more disruption. Looking at Finishing Blow, One-Eyed Willa, all the way up to Shoulder ID. Those are all potential ways to steal amber. We have Miasma Bomb to prevent the opponent from forging on a turn, which might allow us to get a bigger hit on those bigger amber control cards like Doorstep to Heaven, Bring Low, and Submersive Principle. Trickle Down 3 is always nice to get a little bit of extra amber for generation. Gas Pipes Malone, Scooped, and Hand Cannon all work well together, given that Scooped and Gas Pipes Malone gets your opponent to capture amber from their own side, and then Hand Cannon can get that amber into your pool without necessarily having enough power to destroy a specific creature. This works well with creatures that might get skirmish or have a lot of armor. Sanctum has 2 solid amber controls, both Doorstep and Bring Low, as well as some broad board-based control like Radiant Truth and Honor or Glory. Badge Magus allows us to use more additional friendly creatures that are not in the same house to fight, and Leery of the Lake helps keep everything alive. Sargasso and Shifting Battlefield are additional cards that help with amber control. Urian the Circumspect, with 2 copies of him, works incredibly well with Leery of the Lake. So on a turn where your tide is high and you have both Leery of the Lake and your Urian Circumspects ready to go, that can net you a solid 8 given the original Reap. So the Reap gives you 1 and the Reap effect gives you additional 3 for each of the Urians. So Amber Burst potential is pretty high in Sanctum. That can help set up for a subsequent turn with the Honors, Keysis, and Logos. It is a key cheat, I haven't seen it before, so that's pretty cool. It's based off the number of cards that you've played. So for the most part, we want to have a bit more archiving or a lot more draw-based ability. Hence, Field of the Researcher helps with the draw component. Forgive or Forget definitely helps through archiving, though you may choose to use it as a purge option instead. And again, we see a running theme in Logos in terms of basing their abilities on the number of cards you've played this turn, like with Mind Bullets and Talmage Steelheart. P.I. Suiven and Infomorph further increase our draws, so that's relatively on point for what the Logos suite is trying to do, making sure you can draw more on your Logos turns. However, the other houses, Shadows and Sanctum, don't really do much in terms of draw or archiving, so it's a little harder to set up a big Logos turn in this deck, but there's definitely a lot of pieces that help with that goal in mind. From the looks of things, there's some solid amber generation, a good amount of control overall. The board control looks average, slightly lacking on the bodies front, but given that there's some speed to it and good amber generation control, the board isn't necessarily where we're focused. I do think there's just a little bit of a shortage in terms of removal options, at least like a complete wipe. Between spot damage, destroying a damaged creature, things like that. There is no true wipe, like a Spirit's Way. But all in all, not too bad. It looks like a toolkitty deck, so it's got all the pieces it needs to face off against any deck. It's just a matter of whether or not they'll come at the right time, as planning is a little lacking with the archiving component, with Forgive or Forget being the only archiving in this deck. All in all, I'll rate this deck at a 70. It looks pretty solid, has all the things where it counts, but doesn't seem to synergize as well as some of the other decks we've seen. There aren't any dead cards, so that's a good thing, but that's it for the deck. Let me know what you guys thought, if you agree with my estimation or if you think it's widely off. Again, I'll bring up the DOK rating as well, just for comparison's sake. And yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this deck out the next time I get to play it. With that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel to help support it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, be kind and happy forging.